No, good evening. Good evening to all.
Hello, Brother Sachin.
Yes.
Sorry, my internet connection cut off. That's why the YouTube video also cut off.
No problem. No
Yeah,
problem. Fine.
I've been having some problems with my laptop internet since Friday. So I might drop in and drop out, but hopefully it'll be okay.
Fine, no worries. So
Okay.
once again, good evening to all. Today we have joined in Sunday Dhamma discussion, Dhamma reading session. Like before start of session, we will recite Namo Tassa 3 times. We may all recite together. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Buddham Dhammam Sangham Manasami. Yes, we recite these things because we got this teaching from the enlightened Buddha, and the Dhamma is the teaching which we are being learning, and we have already learned something, and we keep on learning this thing till we attain Nirvana, Nibbana. And Sangha is the member, like we are the Sangha members, lay Sangha members, and there are the Sangha members who are community of monks who continue teaching the lay people and making their way to Nibbana. Like last time we are continuing reading, we will be continue reading DN 10, Dīgha Nikāya 10 with Subha. We were reading the third section of it, wisdom, and we will continue reading it. I will be sharing the screen now. I think Nanda Madam, we have read till here, I guess.
Mind made body. Yeah.
Yes. Mind, made, body.
We can start from section 3. Very nice.
Yes. This is mind, made, body we have read. Otherwise, we can start from initial. What do you say, ma'am? I think here we need to start now. I think screen is visible now clearly. Shall I zoom it, ma'am?
No, this is fine, sir.
Yes, ma'am. You can start reading.
I can't see the end of this.
Yeah.
Suppose a person was to draw a reed out from its sheath, they'd think I can't see this.
I will zoom it, ma'am. Yes. Yes, madam. I think now you can open to see.
Suppose a person was to draw a reed out from its sheath. They'd think, this is the reed, this is the sheath. The reed and the sheath are different things. The reed has been drawn out from the sheath. Or suppose a person was to draw a sword out from its scabbard. They'd think, this is the sword, this is the scabbard. The sword, the scabbard are different things. The sword has been drawn out from the scabbard. Or suppose a person was to draw a snake out from its slough. They'd think, this is the snake, this is the slough. The snake and the slough are different things. The snake has been drawn out from the slough. In the same way, when their mind has been immersed in samadhi like this, purified, bright, flawless, rid of corruptions, able, workable, steady, and imperturbable, they project it and extend it toward the creation of a mind-made body, this pertaining their wisdom. When their mind has become immersed in samadhi like this, filled, bright, flawless, rid of corruptions, pliable, workable, steady, and imperturbable, they project it and extend it toward psychic power. They wield the many kinds of psychic powers, multiplying themselves and becoming one again, materializing and dematerializing, going unobstructed through a wall, a rampart, or a mountain, water, walking on water as if it were earth, flying cross-legged through the sky like a bird, touching and stroking with the hand, sun and moon, so mighty and powerful, controlling the body as the realm of divinity. Suppose a deft potter or their apprentice had some well-prepared clay. They could produce any kind of pot that they like. Or suppose deft ivory carver or their apprentice had some well-prepared, they could produce any kind of ivory item that they like. Or suppose a deft goldsmith or their apprentice had some well-prepared gold. They could produce any kind of gold item that they like. In the same way, when their mind has become immersed in samadhi like this, purified, bright, flawless, rid of corruptions, able, workable, steady, and imperturbable, they project it and extend it toward psychic power. This pertains to their wisdom.
Yes, madam. Now we will be reading the same thing in Vim version so that we may take away something which is very helpful in our practice. I will just copy those things. Yes, we were reading from the similes of reed and sheath, sword and scabbard, snake and slough. And it was being mentioned here that when one is having immersed in the meditation or when faculties are purified, they could able to clearly see the mind-made body. I think we have read till here. Yes, anyone can read this? Yes, me or Pai, anyone can read.
Yeah, I can read this.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
So the similes here are the similes of the reed, the sword, and the snake. So these metaphors illustrate the mind-made body or mano maya kaya.
Actually, I was zooming in so that you can be able to see clearly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Now I'll do.
Okay, so the mind-made body or the mano maya kaya is distinct from the physical body. Just as the reed, sword, or snake can be drawn out without confusion, so too the refined mental body can be discerned separately from the coarse body when the mind is deeply established in samadhi. And
Yes.
this represents the mind's potential to function in subtler modes once it is purified and freed from the hindrances.
Yes, definitely these similes which now May has read and it has been explained. Like when one enters into the jhana and when the body feels very light, then definitely they can feel the purified version. What do you say, May, Nanda madam?
Yeah, when we are in samadhi state, it is very possible some of us can experience psychic abilities. But Bhante Vimbaramsi says that's not the goal. We should be very clear as to where the craving arises, and then relax that craving and interrupt the flowing the feelings into craving. Thank you.
Yes. May, do you want to say anything on this mental body?
No, totally. As what Madam Nanda said, most important thing is to uh, um, how should I put it? To be friends with our hindrances, to understand when the craving arises. So, and at any point, and it can be coarse, it can be subtle, the craving. So in the beginning of our meditation, when we are just starting to learn this, we may feel like, oh, if there's tension and tightness in the body, that's when the craving manifests. So that's in the beginning stages. But as we progress in our practice, it's also important to be able to identify the subtler forms of tension that arises, both in the mind and the body. It can be very subtle, and when we see that, then again use the 6 R's to practice on that. And actually, the key thing is to be very careful with the habitual tendency of pushing away even the subtlest form of craving that arises, or hindrances that are. So the mind is so used to whenever there is a tension or tightness that arises, even in the most subtlest form, there is this tendency to push away or to cling on to. So we need to be very clear in our mind, even when that happens, to really use the 6 R's and really relax into it. So I think Bhante Vimalaramsi used to say, all these that arise, they are pointing us to our attachments, the deepest of our attachments, where we really have things that are so deep that we don't even know in our we can say in our coarse mind state. We don't even know that we have attachments to such things. And I think when we are in the subtler modes, in the samadhi state, and to be able to still not just how to say, not just be happy with that, but to go even deeper with the 6 R's, and then see, at any time, any subtle form of tension or tightness that arises, to apply the 6 R's and be very careful that our tendency of either pushing away or pulling it, we have to really relax into it. And if we can break through that, then we again clear those negative hindrances again and again and again, deeper and deeper and deeper. So I think we kind of, in our practice, need to be not, how to say, if we are in a peaceful state, not to be too complacent. Now it's very comfortable. It's very nice, and I will stay there. I think we have to keep on remind ourselves we need to go further, go deeper. It's useful.
Yes, yes. I would like to add on here that generally we need to apply the 6 R's when we are away from our object of meditation. This is important, like even Bhante emphasizes these things. Like whenever we are completely away from the object of meditation, we need to definitely apply 6 R's. And as you said, we need to have a relaxed state of mind in our practice. And really, it is explained like definitely one practices the meditation and they feel when they practice initially with spiritual friend, and when they progress, they feel the body as light. And here the similes are the same thing which is being explained. Like one different definitely can differentiate the physical body and mental body. This is the simile. Yes, you can read me.
Okay, so number 2, the condition of the mind. The text repeats a key description: purified, bright, flawless, rid of corruptions, pliable, workable, steady, and imperturbable. This is exactly the mind that emerges in twin when the hindrances are released, when the practice of 6 R's gently dissolves craving. I actually like this sentence: when the practice of 6 R's gently dissolves craving.
It
It's
is very true.
really, yeah, it's very true. It's really like, because as we know, the craving manifests in tension and tightness in the mind and the body. So the 6 R's really is like very gently, like melting. Melting is not actually, the word dissolve is probably the best description for it. It just kind of gradually just, this dissipates that kind of tension and tightness. And it's very different from the type that the normal tendency of pushing away or holding on to it. So I think the word dissolve is pretty good. It is pliable, easily directed toward wholesome aims, workable, ready to be used for wisdom or higher knowledges, steady, no longer wobbling with restlessness or sloth, and imperturbable, unaffected by worldly ups and downs. One of the things I been experimenting a little bit is how to change, how to modify. Modify is not the right word. I'm trying to think of how to describe these concepts, whether it's 6 R's or whether it's the five powers to kids. Especially kids who are not even from Buddhist family, no knowledge of Buddhism. So this is one of the things that I'm playing with. I'm experimenting with 2 of my students. And I don't use meditation, I use music. And sometimes sometimes I use the word mindful. And interestingly enough, if we play around with the words a little bit, I played with my student using Claude, or it's like ChatGPT, to look for synonyms to the words of, let's say, wisdom or insight, Yesterday we played with it because, in the 5 powers, you have faith, energy, mindfulness, collectedness, and wisdom. And I didn't want to use wisdom as a word. So I thought of using insight, but insight is still quite heavy, a word for kids. So I went to Claude and I asked, what is a synonym for insight for kids? And it gave a bunch of words, but interestingly, in that list, aha moment was in there, aha moment. And another synonym, I think, was something like wow moment. And then I remembered, if some of you remember Bhante Vimalaramsi's retreat, he used to say, he joked before, he said, he said a long time ago, he wanted to call this meditation not TWIM. He wanted to call it, oh, wow, meditation.
Wow.
Right? Oh, wow, meditation. But everybody said to Bhante, no, Bhante, you cannot teach it as, oh, wow, meditation, But it's funny, when Claude gave me the list, synonym for insight, for wisdom, for kids was aha moment, or oh wow, So this is one of the things I'm playing with. And funnily enough, if we play with the words a little bit, the synonyms a little bit, children can understand, actually. Yeah, so yeah, this is one of the areas that if anyone's interested to discuss, I'm happy to.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, for kids.
It's really like in general, like in other monasteries or something, like what they say is generosity, practicing of generosity. They initially train the people of practicing of generosity, like giving something to someone is like the practice of generosity. Like there is a term coined like dana, sila, bhavana. These are the 3 terms which are being dana. Generosity makes ones to come into the practice or the path initially. When someone is not at all known about the teaching, they can start with just having a generous practice. Dana, like you can tell the kids to like give something, like a little bit of something to someone is also a generous practice. What do you say, Nanda madam? Do you have any suggestion?
Yes, I wholeheartedly agree with everything you said. The beauty of, to me, the simplicity and the beauty of the 6R is exactly this. It helps us to identify where the craving arises, and then apply 6R and relax the body and put a smile on our face, and then that craving weakens and eventually it does dissolve. That word is beautifully fitting here. And when that happens, the mind becomes pliable, workable, steady, and imperturbable, and we go into samadhi states. And when we are in samadhi state, the insight naturally develops. And so this wisdom and high knowledge to me is just simply knowing the Four Noble Truths and simply knowing the arising and passing away phenomena, and simply knowing, as May said, yes, the feeling is just arising, and I'm not going to let it move forward into craving. I'm going to relax. I'm going to smile. And that the more we practice it, it actually becomes automatic. This is beautifully explained in this short verse. Thank you very much for reading it, May. Brilliant.
Yes. As Nanda Madam says, we can tell kids to have a smile and tell their parents to keep smiling. This will be very helpful.
Yeah, that's what I keep trying, but
Good.
yeah, there are four kinds of horses, as the Buddha explained before. I can't remember what sutta it was. The Buddha gave a discourse to a horse trainer, where he described four types of horses, and then after that, the Buddha then said there are four types of people in the world. And it is very true. I have some students where I just mention a little bit and they very quickly can pick it up. And I have some that months, years, even trying to get them to smile is like asking them to take bitter medicine. And interestingly enough, the younger the student, if they are 6, 7 years old, the easier it is they take to the smiling instruction, or even asking them to think of something nice, happy, good friend, whatever. The older they get, when they get to about 9, 10 years old, even to ask them to think about an event where they were happy is a bit of a struggle. And once we get to the teens, so around 13, 14 years old, then they start to go, why are you even asking me to do this? This makes no absolute sense at all, and it doesn't help me in my school and whatever. So the hurdle, I notice, gets bigger and bigger as the child grows older. But the 6, 7 year olds are very fun because they're very open at that age to anything you feed them, they're like sponge. And so it's always very fun. But I do have a few that are coming around, and those that are practicing. Yesterday I had a conversation with one girl. Her parents are very proud of her because she's in high school now and she's doing very well, even in school, in music, of course. But she told me yesterday that last term she scored number 1 in maths in her class, and this term she's number 3. And the best part is, although she's doing well in school, she's also doing dance, she's also doing music. Her music is progressing very well, but she's not stressed. She's, very just flowing through, all this. She's not stressed at all. She knows how to allocate her time even better than me, I have to admit. She's very responsible, very helpful girl, teenager growing to be very, very kind, very good girl. Compared to girls her age now, the tendency is stressed out, always, constant anxiety attack or depression, or it's so common now, especially amongst girls. So this is something that really is kids will also find it useful. The only thing is we need to learn how to say, tweak the words a little bit, like the word insight or the word wisdom may be too heavy, then we need to find some synonyms. But yeah, the horse trainer. Yeah, so I have some students who are like in the first category, very easy. If I just give them simple, they can understand. In fact, they teach me. They tell me, like yesterday I had a conversation with a 10-year-old. I believe he's also an empath. So I try to give him some tips from the book, Empath Survival Guide. And I also use, like Bhante Vimalaramsi say, put ourselves in a meta bubble. So I use the word bubble for 2 weeks. And he asked me back, and now I realize I have to pay attention to his questions. He asked me back, so what if my bubble burst? Then I said, well, just create the bubble again, practice, put yourself a bubble again. And then he said, well, okay, I think I need to make more soap, SOAP, soap. Then I said, this is a 10-year-old. Then I said, oh, why do you need soap for? I couldn't understand what he meant. He said, well, when we play with soap, that's when the bubbles come. So his concept of the bubble was this very thin thing that very easy will pop. And then I said to him, oh, no, you don't think of it like that. You think like it's like almost like a frame or something, that you sit inside. It's very nice and warm and cozy inside. Like it feels like candy floss inside. And then he said, oh, you mean like a force field? He said, you mean like a force field? I said, yes, you got that right. It's like a force field. Because he is going to tutoring for 3 hours, and because he's very sensitive to energies, after 3 hours, his energy is depleted. He goes home very tired. So I said, you need to put yourself in a bubble. So his understanding of bubble is something that is like very thin and easy to pop. So interesting conversation I had with a 10-year-old kid, but made me realize choice of words, especially with kids, is super important sometimes.
Yes,
Yeah.
truly. You're doing a great job. Yes, pie, you can read pie. Oh, fine. Yes, Nanda madam, you can read.
Number 3, higher knowledge, ED. With such a mind, the sutta describes psychic powers, multiplying and dematerializing, passing through walls, walking on water, flying through the air, touching the sun and moon.
1 minute. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Even traveling to divine realms. The similes of the potter, ivory carver, goldsmith emphasize that once the mind is and trained, it can be molded to accomplish many tasks, just like well-prepared material, the hands of a skilled artisan. Team perspective, Bhante Vimalaramsi and Delson Armstrong emphasize The powers edges are natural byproducts of a deeply purified and collected mind, but they are not the goal. The Buddha himself cautioned that fascination with psychic displays can lead to distraction and conceit. The true fruit of such samadhi is to direct the pliable mind toward wisdom, panya, specifically insight into anicca, dukkha, anatta, leading to cessation, nibbana. So in TWIM, you don't force or chase powers. Instead, you train the mind with loving kindness or other Brahma Viharas, the siksha, the distractions, and let the mind naturally develop stability and clarity. In such abilities arise, they are acknowledged, but the practitioner keeps turning mind toward dependent origination and cessation. Summary: the passage shows how a purified mind can operate beyond ordinary physical limitations. But the Buddha points beyond these attainments. The same mind that can perform is also the mind that can penetrate reality, see dependent origination, and realize release. That not psychic display is the true fruit of the contemplative life.
Yes, truly said, ma'am. Really, when we chase for any powers, then definitely it will create a distraction and may hinder our progress. It is rightly said that one should train the mind with loving kindness. Very good said, madam. We'll read next portion of it. Directly we will be reading the twin version of it so that we can conclude this.
I'm sorry, can I ask one question, please?
Yes, sir. You can ask, sir.
So the paragraph talks about anicca, anatta, and dukkha. Can you please throw some light on that? Because at the end of the day, if we keep just observing and releasing, relaxing, but
Yes,
if
I
we
would
do
like to
not,
read. Yes, sir. Today
yeah.
morning we were reading about same thing in Dhammapada verse. There is one saying of same thing. Here I would like to summarize today: anicca, dukkha, anatta. English, I think. Basically, anicca is nothing but impermanence. Like whatever we see in this whole world, like it may be our own body, which sustains for an average of 80 years, 100 years, and any building, let us say these days we can say that the buildings have a lifespan of 100, 150 years. Like impermanence is something where it will not sustain and it will not remain permanent. Like the same thing, like whatever you see in the physical world, it changes over a period of time. Nothing will remain. Therefore, everything changes is called as anicca. Dukkha. Dukkha is suffering or unsatisfactoriness. And you can see there are different aspects of suffering. Like one thing is physical suffering, and the second aspect is mental suffering. Like physical suffering is something like when you get some wounds or something on the physical body, you have a backache. Even Buddha has a physical suffering even at the end of the lifespan, like he has a very big backache. But here the difference through the practice of our 6 hours and everything, what happens is you will not be facing much mental suffering because you are relieving all the tension or tightness present in your body, or like you are dissolving the craving through applying of 6 hours. You will not be having much of mental suffering, but you may be having physical suffering. And this physical suffering is because of our past karmas, what in Dhamma talks it says. Second aspect is dukkha, and this dukkha is suffering can be eliminated by applying 6 R's, particularly the mental suffering. Anatta. Anatta is not self. Like someone may say that this is my car, this is my house. But really to say, we are nowhere there is I in it. There is a house, and we cannot say this like physically, like we can say that this is our property, this is I. Like believing of I, like there are other traditions where they believe that there is I in it, and this I is constant, this is never changing. This is called as anatta. Did you get it, sir?
Yeah, I'm aware about dukkha, dukkha, viparinama dukkha, sankhara dukkha. I understand those terms, but if you go back to the previous paragraph,
Yes, sir.
that context is important when we talk about dependent origination.
Yes, here in the context
When we
is
see dependent origination,
yes, I would like to explain, sir. Basically,
yeah,
when
sure.
we practice our meditation, we get an hindrance. And when we get hindrance, before starting of hindrance, there is a point where it is a start, it begins to start. Like where even we define the meditation as seeing how mind moves from one thing to another thing. Like in a broader version, like let us say, you may be aware of dependent origination, like contact, feeling, craving, clinging. It starts with contact, let us say. And in a broader perspective, like what we need to do in applying our meditation practices, like how mind moves from one thing to another, like it is dependent origination. Like when the hindrance just arises, like it arises, like when we practice in a subtler way, you can see how our mind moves from one thing to another thing. Like when it starts, initiates the process, like hindrance starts, then you immediately apply it. Like it is one of the aspect of seeing the dependent origination. And releasing, it's nothing but you are just applying the 6R. Like when we really, what we do in our circular is just we identify it, and then our mind is habituated to do 6Rs, and we get released from it. This is the aspect which we see in dependent origination. One of the aspect. Did you got it, sir?
Yes, I think yes. If you can please go back to where it stays, mentions about dukkha. Yes, this is the one. The last, the fruit of such samadhi is directly pliable mind towards wisdom, panya, specifically insight into anicca. So this is what I meant. How I look at it. I would like to share this.
Yes, you can share.
When
You can share,
yeah,
sir.
when we say that specifically insight into anicca, dukkha, anatta. So when we meditate or when we are mindful in informal meditation, maybe walking or just carrying our daily chores, um, everything which is passing, arising and passing, arising and passing, and when we constantly observe that with corrected mind, we understand that there is an impermanence, and this process of appearing all these rupa, sanya, consciousness, sankhara. Uh, so all these five aggregates are also arising and passing, and that process itself is not in our control. Is impersonal, which is where I see anatta, and dukkha is because even if I don't want this process to repeat, it's just happening on its own, and because it's not permanent, because it's mind likes permanent, the one which is witnessing it, but rest is not permanent, and which is why there is a unwholesome or dukkha, and that leads to cessation of dependent origination, if I see it correctly.
Yes, you're truly said, sir. So we'll read the next verse and we can close the session. Yes, Alok sir, you can read, sir. Yes, May, you can read.
Okay, yeah, sure. The 6 higher knowledges, or Chala Binya, clairaudience, Dibasota, hearing sounds, both human and divine, near and far. Simile, just as someone on the road distinguishes the different sounds of drums, horns, etc. So I guess here it's saying someone who can hear different types of sounds, let's say in the human realm. Human realm is what we all hear normally with our ear sense, but there are some with this how should I say?
Like,
Ability,
yes.
yeah. Then they can also hear sounds from the divine divine realm. Divine realm. So then they can also differentiate between the different sounds of the different realms. Okay. Number 2 is mind reading, or Chettopariyanyana. Knowing another's state of mind with greed or without greed, with hate or without hate, scattered or steady, freed or bound. And the simile is like a youth seeing clearly their own face in a bright mirror. Whenever I think of mind reading, I always am reminded
Yes.
of Bhante Vimalaramsi's joke. He always joked and said, I cannot read anyone's mind, and I do not want to read your mind, he said, because he said, my mind already has enough rubbish. I don't need extra more rubbish from your mind, said. So clearly, I think what Bhante was trying to suggest also is this is one psychic power we probably should not yearn for. Number 3, recollection of past lives. Pubbe nivasanusatinyana. Remembering past births in detail, names, clans, experiences, deaths, and rebirths over many eons. Similarly, like a traveler recalling each village visited on their journey. Again, this is probably not, most of the time, not very useful, except I know from a medical, healing perspective, lots of in psychiatry, they use it a lot now because it is known to heal past traumas. So especially illnesses, physical illnesses that do not have a cure from modern medicine. So nowadays, it's quite common now in psychiatry that they resolve to using either some form of hypnotherapy or other forms of therapy, including trying to trace back to past lives in order to clear past trauma. And this is one of the areas where I personally have played with a little bit as well. And to some extent, it does work. but you need to be under the guidance. You need to be under supervision of someone, a professional.
Truly,
Professional. Yeah. Okay, number 4 is clairvoyance. Chutupapatanyana, clairvoyance. Seeing beings passing away and reappearing in realms according to their karma, good or bad, beautiful or ugly, fortunate or unfortunate. And simile is like someone with clear eyes seeing people moving about in a village square. So this can be also, I think, to different degrees, clairvoyance. So not necessarily being able to see it, but one could also perhaps sense it, or even in the form of dreams. So dreams are also referenced a lot in psychiatry and in alternative healing. And some people have that. And the key thing is to remind ourselves that everything that we see, whether it's through the different realms or whatever that we come into contact with, is impermanent, is unsatisfactory, and again, is impersonal. So as long as we, if ever we come into contact with such situations, to remind ourselves the 3 characteristics of anicca, dukkha, anatta, and then take refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. And that is important. Number 5, ending of the taints. Asavakaya. I'm so glad. Asavakaya Jnana. I'm so glad that Dr. Madhusudanji is not dialing in. He will flip, I think, at my pronunciation.
No worries. No worries.
The highest knowledge, directly realizing the 4 noble truths, abandoning craving, destroying the taints of sensuality, existence, and ignorance. Simile, like seeing a clear lake with all the fish and pebbles visible.
Really
So
very good.
very clear vision. Yeah, very clear.
Very good simile.
mind.
Ending of tense is very good simile where we could able to see clearly everything.
Everything. And with this, the practitioner knows rebirth is ended, the holy life fulfilled, what had to be done is done. There is nothing further for this world. Number 6, sometimes counted separately, the creation of the mind-made body, what we read earlier, Mano, Maya, Kaya. Okay. So Bhante Vimalaramsi and Delson Armstrong emphasize these psychic powers, so idis or abhinya, arise naturally when the mind is deeply purified through release of craving. And they are not the goal. So we have to be very careful with that. Because we read before that pride is one of the hindrances that can only be purified towards the end of the journey after anagami stage. So we have to be very careful that it doesn't turn into our block, our hindrance, our obstacle to our progress. So the Buddha repeatedly discouraged fascination with them. Yeah, fascination is a good word because I do know of some people who are very fascinated with not their own psychic ability, they have none, but when they hear of other individuals that claim, let's put it this way, when they hear of other individuals that claim to have some form of psychic ability, whether real or not, these people become like what do you call? Like, you know, deer with headlights. Like they are go, like that, just by hearing someone else claiming to have. I know a couple of individuals as well. It's a big obstacle to your progress. Okay. The
Yes.
true fruit is the knowledge of ending of the taints. Asavakaya jnana, because only this cuts off rebirth. In twin practice, when the mind becomes collected through the Brahma Viharas, hindrances vanish. And the qualities listed, purified, pliable, steady, and imperturbable, naturally appear. If unusual perceptions or knowledges arise, the student is taught to 6R even these, not cling, and return to the process of release. Probably, if I may add, the process of release and relax. The real miracle, yeah, this is good. The real miracle is not walking on water or hearing distant sounds, but truly the real miracle is ending craving, abandoning ignorance, and realizing Nibbana. That is the real power. This passage lays out the spectrum of noble wisdom, beginning with extraordinary knowledges that come from samadhi and culminating into the one knowledge that fulfills the holy life, ending of the taints. The similes, mirror, lake, drum sounds, village journey remind us that these insights are clear, direct, and undeniable to the purified mind. And so the Buddha praises this, complete, not lacking anything. Nothing further needs to be done.
Yes. Thank you, me, for reading.
Okay.
Alok sir, do you want to say something? Sinal madam, do you want to say something? Alok sir, you can say so. Yes, Sinal madam, you can. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to say thank you so much. You all are doing great job. Thank you to contribute to Sangha. Thank you so much.
No
Much
problem.
gratitude.
You are also a part of Sangha member. We are all together on the same platform for discussing Dhamma, which will benefit for both of us to walk in the path.
Indeed, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much again.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you everyone.
Yes, madam.
I would like to add a few things here with my experience. During practicing 6 hours every day, this is my second month now, only just second month, but I realized that our clinging is very so much cling to us in a such a way that it takes different forms. It take different shapes to cling ourselves, to cling with our mind. It's not allowing us to separate for being non-self. It's like, and sometimes I laugh with myself that I experiencing and now understanding that my mind is taking different shapes and it is pretending sometimes that I am feeling non-self and I know everything. And I think we all go through this, but sometimes we sometimes not same time understand that yes, this is clinging. We thought this is the right. Yes, I'm on the right track, but sometimes it's like what should I say?
Yes. Here,
It's like a false self. False
uh,
self. Actually, it's like a false self that it pretending like yes, you are doing good job and you are on a right track. You are not clinging that much now, but mind is very so tricky many times. with my practice also, I stop saying that I think, because I think there is I.
Yes, yes. In general, like general wordings, like wherever we do work, generally we need to refer these words.
Ah,
Our intention is not that I, but definitely, as you said, if we use the other word like are, instead of saying myself, we can say our. It
ah,
definitely will helpful. And just I would like to add on here, like Bante says that hindrances are our teachers. They say where our attachments are.
ah.
It's good that hindrances are coming and we are applying the 6 R's and we are moving on the path of Dhamma. It's very good, ma'am.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Nanda madam or Paul sir, do you want to add something?
It is a beautiful sutta you've chosen, Sachin. I really enjoyed listening to it. Last week, we read how Buddha explained with similes, and when I was listening to that, I felt as if I'm reliving the experiences that we experience when we practice Siksha continuously, consistently, persistently, day after day after day. That was a beautiful reading last week as well. And today, the samadhi, exactly that what happens. To me, the beauty and the simplicity and the magic of this a technique is metta 6R. When we practice it, the hindrances becomes weaker and the mind naturally flows into samadhi state, goes through the jhanas and ayatanas and samadhi state. And as Alok mentioned, um, in samadhi state, we naturally see the 3 universal truths, the 3 marks of existence, anicca, dukkha, and anatta. And we simply understand the 4 noble truths. And also we simply understand how we are totally responsible for creating our own suffering. And we learn to notice and relax the body and calm the mind and simply enjoy the peaceful, blissful states that this Metta Siksha provides. Once again, thank you very much. I really enjoyed this sutta. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, madam. Thank you too also because you were reading these suttas. Thank you, May. Thank you all. Paul sir, do you want to say something before closing? Otherwise, we can read sharing merit. Let us read the sharing merit so that all to be in happy and peaceful, and let this Dhamma keep growing. Now we will read sharing merit together. May suffering ones be suffering free, and the fears track fearlessly. May the grieving shed all grief, and may all beings find relief. May all beings share this merit that we have thus acquired for the acquisition of all kinds of happiness. May beings inhabiting space and air, devas and nagas of mighty power, share this merit of ours. May they long protect the Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, everyone. Wishing all happiness. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Sachinji. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. We'll see you next week. Thank you.